Hello everyone, welcome back to Extract the Fact. I'm your host, Adam Izraelevitz. So today we're going to jump right back into sports and politics. This is probably the biggest issue that has dominated the sports world and the political world and its intersection over the last year, just because there are so many different people involved, all the way from the President of the United States to the vast majority of NFL players and everyone in between. So that is the NFL National Anthem protest, and specifically, should players be allowed to kneel during the anthem? Now, this is an issue that has dominated the headlines for the past year or so, and just today, Tuesday, July 10th, there was a grievance filed by the NFL Players Association towards the NFL, saying it is they don't believe it is legal, that the new NFL's policy that you are only allowed to sit in your locker room or stand on the field, so you're not allowed to kneel on the field. You can go inside and not participate in the anthem, but if you're on the field, you must stand. They believe that is unjust and illegal, so they just filed a grievance for that. So it's still a topical issue, even though it's been going on for a year, and it's no sign of slowing down. So we're going to debate today, just specifically, should players be allowed to kneel? So I know there's a ton going around the issue, but we're really just going to debate, should players be allowed to kneel for the anthem? So first I'm going to be arguing for the side that no, they should not be allowed to kneel for the anthem, and then we'll switch gears saying yes, they should be allowed to protest during the anthem. So first, I'll argue for the no side, and then we'll see what you guys think. So for the no side, a core argument that these people believe is there's a lack of a unified message for the national anthem protest. Now, people believe that if you are kneeling when the American flag is presented and when the anthem is playing, many people believe that is a blatant critique against America, and you're directly protesting America. Now, many people say, why are you protesting when the flag is being played? You could protest, you could kneel during warm-ups, you could kneel during post-game press conference, you could kneel in your other avenues in life. It doesn't have to be on the football field. You could kneel during the game at halftime. You could do something, but they chose to kneel when the American flag is being shown and when the national anthem is being played, so it is a sensitive subject. So many people think there's not really a message here. Are you guys protesting for police brutality? Is it more of a general social injustice thing? Or more specifically, is it against President Trump? Because after a rally in Alabama, when President Trump said a vulgar remark saying, quote, "Get that son of a explicit off the field right now, out, he's fired, he's fired." Now, that quote was in a rally in Alabama. A week after, during the NFL season, that is when we saw the most players kneel, the most people take a stand, and even owners went down to the field and locked arms with players. Now, so many people would say, oh, this is actually a protest against Trump. You're not really protesting police brutality, because why was the greatest increase in protesters after Trump said that remark? So there's really not a cohesive message here, and that's what people would say. In addition, for example, actually, Colin Kaepernick said in a post-game interview, he knelt because he's not going to stand up just showfied in a flag that for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. There are bodies in the street, and people are getting paid leave and getting away with murder. Now, in contrast, Brandon Marshall, a linebacker for the Denver Broncos, stated in a separate post-game interview that, quote, "The message I'm against is social injustice. I'm not against the military or police or America at all," he said. So that's contrasting Kaepernick's view of police brutality, where Brandon Marshall is saying he's not really against the police. So there is a contrasting message that people would point out. In addition, critics say Kaepernick did not vote in the 2016 presidential election. So they're saying, why are you taking a stand in protest, but you're not having a political voice in the 2016 election? So they're saying there is, again, not a message here because you're not even voting. So why are you protesting if you're not actually taking a political stand? In addition, Jason Whitlock, who is a conservative sports columnist and a speaker on Fox Sports, made the point that the NBA, the National Basketball Association, has long been championed as the league that's the most progressive and the league that tolerates a lot of different interests. LeBron James wore "I Can't Breathe" shirt protesting police brutality in warm-ups. And he said that has long been championed as the most progressive league. So he says in the NBA, you're not allowed to kneel when the anthem is playing. So why are people dashing the NFL? If Colin Kaepernick was in the NBA, he would not be allowed to kneel on the court. So Whitlock is making the point here that there is an unfair bias against the NFL, and that is not fair. In addition, this is similar to the one-and-done rule that I was talking about a couple days ago. The NFL is a business, and it must ensure what the majority of the fans want. So, and the majority of the fans, most people oppose kneeling. According to the Washington Post, 53% of Americans say it's, quote, never appropriate to kneel during the national anthem. So again, if the majority of the fans don't back it, TV ratings are going to plummet, and TV ratings have plummeted because of many people contribute that to the national anthem protests, and they have to protect their business model, and if fans don't want to see it, the NFL has the right to say, you cannot kneel, just like the NBA does. Now I'm going to be arguing for the points that NFL players should be allowed to kneel. So a lot of people actually say there's a talking point amongst the other side that says, when you kneel, it's against the military. You're disrespecting the military. But actually, according to a Huffington Post article that Joshua Patton wrote, who is a military officer currently serving in the United States military, he makes the argument that because there's nothing violent about this protest, it is actually truly an American thing to protest the flag. That's what we fight for, he says. He says, we are fighting for you to have this voice to protest. So actually, you should be protesting if that's what you choose to do. He's saying this is just a First Amendment right, freedom of speech, freedom of protest. So as long as it's nonviolent, this is an American thing that people should be doing if that's what they choose to do. Now, nothing is violent about this protest. There have been no injuries. It's people just sitting down for the anthem or kneeling. And the values are moral. Police brutality, social injustice are prevalent issues in society, and they're essential to raise awareness. And there has been increased awareness, and there has been substantial change following the Kaepernick and other players' protests. For example, Colin Kaepernick has decided, according to SB Nation, $10,000 increments over 10 days in his 10 for 10 campaign, where he would give various organizations money in $10,000 increments over 10 days as kind of a jumpstart for social injustice programs. And other celebrities, such as Kevin Durant, would match Kaepernick's donations in the process. Now, that is a substantial thing, and that has generated increased awareness, and we see that from the NFL owners. And the NFL owners, to try to make this issue kind of go away because it's impacting their bottom line, owners have donated over $100 million to causes that have been promoted by Colin Kaepernick that promote African American civil liberties and police brutality and social injustices watches. So we see there has been some change because of the protests, and there has been increased awareness. But we do see there are clearly two sides to this issue. This issue is not going away, I think. I think the NFL will continue to have this problem because the league is very outspoken, and because the owners and because the NFL is kind of firm in their grip. The Players Association and the owners sometimes do not get along very well in the NFL. That has been a constant throughout the last couple of decades. I'm really curious to see where this goes in society, and I'm really curious to see what you guys think about this issue, because I think it's very topical, and even if you're not a sports fan and even if you don't watch the NFL like me, I do think that you've obviously heard about this issue, and it's very prevalent now in our society. So I'm really curious to see what you guys think. Comment below, and thanks for watching.